Moving on to number 2 on this review sheet, finding the range, mean, variance, standard deviation for a population data set. First thing is the range. Let's look at that. That's right over here. The range is the difference between the highest and lowest values. So a quick scan of this data here shows that 20 is the highest and 7 is the lowest. That makes the range 20 minus 7 equal to 13. Next up is the mean. In order to calculate the mean by hand, you can add up all of these numbers. There's 11 of them. You get 145, divide by that 11, and you'll get an average of 13.18. Now there is a way to use the calculator. Let's take a look at that. This is an TI-84 simulator. So if we hit Stat and we hit Edit, you can see that I have already entered the data into L1. So let's go hit Stat again, move over to Calc, and hit One Variable Statistics. Make sure this list over here includes the list that your data is populated in. And hit Enter. And you can see where it says X bar, that is your mean of 1318. Underneath it, the sigma X is going to be your standard deviation. This is the standard deviation for a population. Sx is the standard deviation for a sample. Now, this is the reverse of what I mentioned in the previous exam because I accidentally flipped them. I mistook it. So once again, sigma x is the population standard deviation and Sx is the sample standard deviation. This is a population data set, so we're going to use 4.386 as our standard deviation, or rather 4.39 rounded to 2 decimal places right here. In order to find the variance, we'll take this number 4.39 and raise it to the second power. Our answer is 19.27. So in addition, I asked list the elements that are within 1 and 2 standard deviations of the mean. Let's look at 1 standard deviation. Right, if the mean is 13.18 and the standard deviation is 4.39, that means 13.18 minus 4.39 is 8.79. That means all of the values that are above 8.79 are within 1 standard deviation below the mean. Up to, right? 13.18 plus 4.39 is 17.57, so this is your range right here. So what I want you to do is list all of the elements that are within this range of values. That's going to be 13, 10, 9, 12, 13, and 15. Values like 20 and values like 7 are not in that range. Therefore, they are excluded from this right here. And then within 2 standard deviations of the mean should cover 95% of the data if the data is large enough. And that's going to be 13.18 minus 2 times 4.39, 4.4. 13.18 plus 2 times 4.39 is 21.96. And because this data is a little bit smaller, it's not exactly 95%, but that is everything. The whole data set falls between these 2 values, falls between 2 standard deviations of the mean.